Here in South Australia, the sporting competition has reopened, the goal being to obtain loot in the form of food and clothing, or the more valuable larger goods. The single rule is that all contact should be avoided, or at least minimised, as the outcomes of any contact can be dangerous. Let's get ourselves onto the field to see how the game is playing out with the new rules. You'll notice here that the tunnel into the main part of the field is empty. This is where the group is used to gather, often smoking, eating or drinking. No more here, this allows a more direct path to the rest of the action. In addition, some parts of the field are closed as the shuttering indicates, something on which the groundkeepers will have to keep a close eye. A new feature of the field is the prevalence of additional lines and markings, indicating a new suite of in-touch areas or the precise spots where players should stand. Here we see a cleaner on the field. In previous seasons, these usually were seen where the food was served or in the stands at the end of the match, but now they appear regularly throughout the entire game. Our attention now turns to how these modifications affect general gameplay. Remember that contact with a team member is generally okay, particularly if they live in the same household. Apart from this, any contact should be avoided at all costs. In addition, although young players may experience contact, the effect of such contact is generally less destructive. So while you may not think of leading with your more inexperienced players, it certainly may be a strategy worthwhile considering. With that background, let's examine 5 strategies to avoid contact in the new game. 1. Train for agility and awareness. The old game was based on size and strength. Players who charged through got the loot first. Now players need to dodge and weave to avoid contact. Constantly scan in all directions as illustrated by this highly skillful woman. Number 2. Avoid big size loot. This man has some of the most prized loot in the game, but the mobility he has sacrificed because of its size means that he cannot move for fear of contact. Remember, it doesn't matter how much loot you have if you can't get away without contact. 3. Accelerate into open spaces. Open spaces are the new gold rush of this era. They can be a get out of jail free card if you had that loot that would otherwise be unmanageable. If you see an open space, zoom into it, as does this woman. Let's look at her again in slow-mo to fully appreciate her technique. 4. The steel cage strategy. Before the recent nerf, these cages were used almost exclusively to carry loot. Now they are also being used to constrain younger players, here in what can only be described as a boss move. Not 1, not 2, but 3 younger players are caged so they cannot move in a fashion unpredictable to other competitors. 5. Innovative strategies, of whom Bag Lady here is a prime example. This lady is rolling her case, which totally protects her right side, eliminating all contact. It does, however, open up her left side to which fellow players are drawn. Probably not viable in the long term, but if the person is visually impaired in her right eye, it could prove an extremely good defensive tactic, and it must be working for her, because did you see her go into that bag shop to buy some more? Well, we hope you've enjoyed this shopping virus commentary. Maybe it's opened your eyes to how the shopping world is changing out there. Maybe it's made you more aware of how the game will change in your local area as things open up again. Remember, stay safe and practice social distancing. This is Phil, over and out.